The STARS helicopter landing zone is a clear, level, secured area near an accident scene where a STARS helicopter can land safely to transport patients. When properly set up and operated, it allows the attending ground emergency response team and the STARS air medical crew to work together efficiently and safely to load the patient for transport. In the following video, you will learn how to prepare for STARS arrival, helicopter departure, various hazards and special situations, what crash rescue procedures you are required to know. This video will help you to safely set up the landing zone for the AW139 or the smaller BK117 helicopter. The first step is to designate a landing zone officer who is responsible for setting up and safely running the STARS landing zone. The landing zone officer may enlist a second person, a marshaller, to help with the landing zone duties. The landing zone, however, can be set up and operated effectively by the landing zone officer alone. The officer is usually one of the on-scene team members of the attending fire department, EMS, RCMP, municipal police, or park wardens. Fire department staff are typically best equipped to take on the role of the landing zone officer. But a STARS helicopter landing zone can be run by any person trained to do so. The selected person in any case must be given direct radio contact to the STARS helicopter crew. In the next step, to prepare for the helicopter arrival, the landing zone officer should put on personal protective equipment, such as a helmet, hearing protection, safety glasses, and a face shield. A reflective vest is recommended, particularly on night landings. Prior to STARS arrival, you will need to accomplish a few important tasks. These include selecting a site that is safe and functional, setting up the site for the helicopter arrival, establishing radio contact with the incoming crew. A properly set up and operated landing zone creates smooth teamwork between the ground crew and the air crew, which is ultimately the key element for any successful and safe mission. Once STARS is en route, the landing zone officer must locate a clear area for the helicopter that is accessible to, but safely away from the incident scene. A minimum distance of 120 feet from the accident scene is recommended. The landing zone should be downwind of the incident scene so the STARS helicopter avoids flying over the scene on approach. A landing zone located downwind also keeps rotor wash and exhaust fumes away from the emergency responders once the helicopter is safely on the ground. The AW139 will have much stronger downwash wind than the BK117. The STARS pilot will always land into the wind in strong wind conditions. The landing zone should be away from high obstacles such as street signs, vehicles, towers, poles, power lines, and trees with a reasonable approach by air. Choose an area that is as flat as possible. The landing zone should be set up as soon as possible after the site has been selected. Setup is simple. Ensure the site is a minimum of 36 paces, 36 meters, or 120 feet from the accident site, forming a 36 pace by 36 pace, or 120 feet by 120 feet square.
Rick, they'll get you to set up the landing zone over there on that.
Mark out the corners of the landing zone with LED beacons or highly visible pylons. Remove any equipment, material, or loose debris from the immediate area. The helicopter generates downwash wind speeds in excess of 100 kilometers per hour, capable of causing large materials to become airborne. If the area is dusty, wet it down as soon as possible to improve the pilot's visibility on approach and to protect the ground personnel and the helicopter. One of the key components to the mission's success, and what often causes the greatest delays on scene, is radio communication. The STARS aircraft has several programmed radio frequencies. Ensure that you have communicated to your local dispatch the frequency that you will monitor for communication with the STARS crew.
STARS 2, Cochrane ground.
Cochrane, we are 5 minutes from your location.
The landing zone officer should brief the aircrew as soon as radio contact is established with the STARS helicopter. Tell the crew the location of the landing zone, referencing something easily viewed from above, such as an intersection or the accident itself. Inform the crew whether the ground is level or sloping, the type of surface they are landing on, if there is dust, loose snow, rocks, bushes, or stumps present on the landing zone. Communicate local wind conditions, the location of any nearby hazards such as power lines or road signs, and the existence of any other unique conditions such as smoke or hazardous gas release. Use north, south, east, or west to reference the location of the landing zone and hazards. Always remember that the pilot will approach into the wind during strong wind conditions. Finally, identify what is marking the four corners of the landing zone, whether this be LED beacons or pylons. If the STARS helicopter is circling above, but the landing zone is not ready for arrival, simply radio this information to the crew.
Stars 2, our landing zone isn't ready. You'll need to circle the scene until we're good to go.
Cochrane ground, this is Star 2, we copy that.
Background medical information can be conveyed to the STARS medical crew only when the landing zone communications briefing is complete.
555. We have a landing zone set up. Landing zone officer is in place.
To guide the STARS helicopter in safely, the landing zone officer and any assisting personnel must follow a few simple procedures. First, when you see the helicopter approaching, make sure once again the area is secure with no personnel, equipment, or debris in the landing zone. Next, stand at the middle of the upwind side of the landing zone, with your back to the wind. If the area is safe, extend your arms straight above your head, holding the LED batons if available. This signals to the STARS pilot that the area is clear and the helicopter can land. The STARS pilot may have limited visibility below the helicopter on approach. Do not assume that he sees below himself. If at any time during the descent it becomes unsafe to land, wave your arms above your head in a crosswise motion. The helicopter will immediately rise up away from the scene, circle, and wait for further radio instructions.
Landing zone is not established yet. If you could circle the scene until we're ready.
On final approach, crouch or kneel to protect yourself from the downwash. Do not leave your spot. The pilots use you as their reference to the ground. If you move, the helicopter may follow you in low visibility conditions. Once the STARS helicopter is safely on the ground, maintain your position. The aircrew will come to you. The greatest danger for emergency personnel at a scene is being struck by a helicopter rotor. If you wish to pass through the area around the helicopter, wait outside the landing zone to be escorted by a STARS crew member. The STARS co-pilot will act as a safety officer and will guard the tail rotor. Help with patient loading or other duties only as requested by the STARS air crew. If you must approach the helicopter on a hot load, where the helicopter does not shut down, ensure you are escorted by a member of the STARS crew. Always enter or exit the landing zone by the 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock safe access region. While the STARS helicopter is on the ground, the landing zone officer's primary responsibility is the security of the landing zone. For departure, the landing zone officer resumes their crouching or kneeling position at the middle of the upwind side of the landing zone, or at the position directed by the pilot. Check to ensure that the area is still secure and free of debris, personnel, and equipment. Give the pilot the all-clear signal if the conditions are safe for departure. If a problem arises, wave your arms in a crosswise motion above your head, but do not enter the landing zone. Using a radio, communicate to the pilot the nature of the problem. When the helicopter is clear to depart, resume your position, give the all-clear signal, and hold your location until the helicopter is safely away. On night landings, all setup and operating procedures are the same as on day landings. If available, the landing zone officer should place LED beacons at the corners of the selected landing zone and must wear a reflective vest. Vehicles at the scene can assist the STARS pilots by training their spotlights and high beams on nearby hazards such as power lines. Spotlights or high beams must never be directed towards the landing zone, as they may blind the pilots on final descent. The only time light should be directed into the landing zone is if you are in a remote area. In this situation, you can mark out the landing zone using low beam headlights from a vehicle by shining it towards the middle of the landing zone area. A roadway clear to the fence line on either side is sufficient space for the AW-139 or the BK-117 STARS helicopter to land. On two-lane highways, all traffic should be stopped in both directions for landing and departure of the STARS helicopter. This ensures the safety of the ground crew, the helicopter, and passing motorists. On divided highways, traffic control in the unaffected lane will be at the discretion of the attending police officers. If there has been a release of hazardous gas or there is fire or smoke near the scene, an approach to the landing zone from downwind may be dangerous. In the communications briefing, the landing zone officer must notify the pilot of these potentially dangerous situations. Once the pilot has surveyed the scene, they may recommend the setup of an alternate landing zone to ensure a safe transfer with minimal disturbance to the patient and the incident scene. In case of an emergency or crash landing, and in the event that you need to assist the STARS crew within the helicopter, there are a few key areas to be aware of. On the BK-117, first, always try to open the door using the handles. If this fails, the emergency release handle is marked on the exterior of the aircraft to the left and right side. Open the cover, grasp the T-handle, and pull towards you. The door will break away at the hinges. The pilot door emergency release is a large red loop located inside the cockpit, attached to the A-post. Pulling this loop releases the pins that allow the door to fall away. This mechanism is located on both the right-hand and left-hand pilot's doors. If pilots are incapacitated, it is important to help secure the engines through the emergency fuel shutoff valves. The switches are located in the center console on the BK-117 and are two red switches labeled Emergency Fuel Shutoff. Lift the red cover and shut off the switches, breaking the witness wire. The fuel tanks are located in the aft position in the main body of the helicopter fuselage. The fueling access point is on the outside rear left side of the helicopter. For seatbelts, pull the release lever up and pull the harness tabs free of the locking recess. The batteries are located on the right side of the helicopter below the engine exhaust stack, and it is important to stay away from them. The oxygen shutoff for the BK is a black T-handle located on the left side of the right pilot's seat and is operated by pressing the center button and pushing the T-handle down. An emergency locator transmitter, or ELT, will have been activated on the aircraft. All crafts have an independent emergency lighting system. Fire extinguishers are aboard all crafts, as well as a dedicated survival kit. In case of an emergency crash landing with the AW-139, the following information is important. First, always try to open the doors using the handles. If this fails, then all side windows are emergency access points. Simply push on the window where marked and it will fall in. If the pilots are incapacitated, the engines can be secured through the two red triangular fuel shutoff valves located on the center console. The switches can be moved by pulling on the switch and moving them down to the off position. The fuel tanks are located in the aft position in the main body of the helicopter fuselage. The fueling access point is on the outside, rear, right side of the helicopter. For seatbelts, turn the round center piece in either direction to release the seatbelt. The batteries are located in the nose of the helicopter, and it is important to stay away from them. The oxygen shutoff for the AW is a green T-handle located on the left side of the right pilot seat. It is operated by turning the T-handle 1/4 turn clockwise and then pushing it down. An emergency locator transmitter, or ELT, will have been activated on the aircraft. All craft have an independent emergency lighting system. Fire extinguishers are aboard all crafts, as well as a dedicated survival kit. From this video, you should now understand the importance of selecting the landing zone officer prior to a STARS mission. Wear the appropriate protective equipment. Be able to select the appropriate safe site for the helicopter landing. Set up a landing zone that is safe from hazards, a minimum of 36 paces, 36 meters, or 120 feet from the accident site, and forming a 36 paces by 36 paces, 36 meters by 36 meters, or 120 feet by 120 feet square. Establish radio contact with the STARS crew and provide an update on the scene location and potential hazards. As STARS is arriving, the first step is to ensure the landing zone is clear. Stand in the middle, upwind side of the landing zone with the wind at your back. Give the all clear signal to the pilot and maintain your position until the helicopter lands. Kneel as the helicopter approaches. Do not move from your spot, as the pilot may use you as a reference point. If at any point it is unsafe for the helicopter to land, wave your arms above your head and the helicopter will immediately rise up away from the scene. As STARS is getting ready to depart, once again, ensure the landing zone is clear. If it is safe to depart, give the pilot the all clear signal. Maintain your position until the helicopter is safely away. If at any time it is unsafe, wave your arms above your head. There are a variety of hazards and special situations, including night landings, where the use of LED beacons at the corners of the landing zone is important, as well as lighting of hazards. Highway landings, where on a two-way highway, traffic will need to be stopped in both directions. On the divided highway, traffic control in the unaffected lane will be at the discretion of the attending police officer. And dealing with on-scene hazards where radio communication with STARS is crucial. In the event of a crash, there are a few areas that you will need to be aware of, including emergency access into the helicopter, how to shut off the fuel and the fuel tank location, how to operate the safety belts, how to shut off the onboard oxygen, and the location and activation of the emergency locator transmitter. Please feel free to contact STARS regarding any questions you may have about this video. Your safety and the care of the patient are the top priorities for each mission. Thank you for your role in the chain of survival.